Yes, in some cases. It depends on the trade schools. Some schools will take them, others won't. So, what I would encourage students and families to do is to do your research. If you're looking at a trade school, reach out and contact the financial aid office of the trade school. Do you guys accept the financial aid? And they'll let you know flat out, because they also want students to go to their schools, because that's money coming into the building when students walk through those doors.
Yeah, you said a nasty word, and that word that you said that was nasty was research. A lot of people aren't doing the research. Can you talk about how critical that research is?
Oh
The
my
pre-work.
goodness, it's so vital. Students and families, what I would suggest to you is right now is the time to start to look, start to think about who you are. What do you want to do? Where do you see yourself in your life and your career in the next 10, 15 years? Then you can backtrack while we're talking about research and figure out, well, what are the kind of schools that are going to get me there? Because as we talk about research, there's a lot of research out there that shows you the job placement of students who go to certain colleges. There's research that shows you different things that students can benefit from going to different schools. And my advice is, the more informed you are when you make that decision, the better off you're going to be prepared for your future steps and your future goals. So I humbly invite everybody to do your research on the types of schools. I believe there's a college for every one of our high school seniors out there, and I strongly encourage you to think very long and hard about attending college as soon as you graduate. Don't delay. As soon as you graduate, think about going off to school, seniors.
Yeah, and I would also add trade schools as well. And one of the things you touched upon was think long and hard, because when I was going to school with D, like Southern was what D, like 6 grand a year.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, about that. So, you can work at. I worked at the Chapel Square Mall, at Macy's, Athlete's Foot when that was around. So, it was a struggle, but I was able to pay that off. Today's college tuitions triple, quadruple, quintuple that. So for someone who wants
Absolutely.
to work or think about working and trying to pay that off and go to school, it's far more challenging. And as you mentioned, the cost of college has gone up, but the salaries and incomes for the jobs associated that you're going for hasn't kept with the pace with the inflation of the college tuition.
Hmm.
So you have that, and also the other thing to take in consideration, students and parents, is that existential desire to I want to take English or liberal arts or whatever. You got to focus on something that's going to generate money. Looking at the careers that have the highest salary impact, like the medical careers, engineering, trades, anything with computer science, anything with math. Now, if your passion is philosophy in English, you can take that as a minor.
Hmm.
But looking at something that when you come out, you're going to be making some money, because you can't write those college loans off.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So again, you're going back to research, taking your time to really do your research and explore what you want to do. But you have to really dig into that background. I hear a lot of folks, I talk to a lot of students, yeah, I want to go into nursing. Why? Because they understand the money that some nurses make. However, when they peel it back and they understand, wait a minute, I have to be sharp in math, I have to be swift in science. Now all of a sudden, these things don't just come. Nobody's going to give you these opportunities. You're going to have to earn them, but you have to make sure you have that right background. You have to make sure that you're putting yourself in an environment where folks are going to help you out. All of these college campuses, they all have additional support services. So we have students who might need some additional tutoring. There's a lot of these college campuses where they're helping folks out with financial aid. They're helping folks out if they have living situations. So these college campuses are well prepared to understand the issues that students have, that they deal with on a day-to-day basis, and they're to help them out. But you have to make sure you find the right fit. And I just can't say it any other way. And the only way you're going to find the right fit is by going and exploring, going and visiting college campuses, taking the time to really get out there and put yourself in that position. Oftentimes, when we start looking at schools in Boston, the reality is some of us are going to go on these campuses and we might not see too many folks who look like us on these campuses. That's a struggle. It really is. But what I will say is, if some of us are willing to persist, what you might find is doors will open up for you. So all I can say is, you have to do your research. You have to get on these campus. You have to see what resources can help you to further get to your goals in life. And I would say, if you find a good fit, go for it. And when you're ready, that's when you want to come and see me and my team of financial aid advisors, because we're in all of the high schools in Springfield, and we're glad to help you complete the FAFSA forms. So while I'm talking about that, let me just go ahead and make this shameless plug. We have a series of Saturdays for the entire month of October that we're doing what we call our FAFSA frenzies. So this Saturday, we started off at Springfield Central. Every Saturday, we're going to be in one of the major high schools. This upcoming Saturday, we're going to be at the High School of Science and Technology, and we're just going to be there to help families complete the FAFSA form. All of our services are free of charge. I would cordially invite everyone who's listening to go to Facebook, Springfield Promise Program. That is our webpage on Facebook. You can see this information that we're talking about listed on our Facebook page. You can sign up, and we're glad to work with families to help you all get the financial aid done.
All right, and another thing that's important about the research, if someone's like, "Oh, what does that research entail?" I mean, the first step, go to the school website. I don't think there's any college or university out there that doesn't have a website. You go to their website, you look at whatever it might be labeled different, but studies or majors or minors or careers. You know, you got to start thinking in terms of what you want and how you want to do it. And parents, here's a free resource to help you, to guide you in filling out that application, filling out that form. Make sure you go down there and bring your kids with you, so they can see the process too. And the kids, if you come from a household where no one went to school, and maybe the emphasis isn't on school, then jump in an Uber and jump on your bike and ride down there and take care of yourself. You're not alone in this situation. As soon as you get to the school that's designated for that Saturday, you got counselors that will walk you through the process.
Absolutely.
So I say that to say you got to take some ownership in your future. Don't just leave it up to your parents. It's just not your parents' job. They're there to guide you. But if you're not getting that guidance, then plan B, which is, roll your sleeves up and get it done yourself.
Yes, and going back to that point that you made about the research, when it comes to these colleges, the way I like to explain it to students is, think about yourself as a business and think about these colleges as a business. So when you're talking to these colleges, they're looking at you as a student, but they also understand, in some cases, some of these schools are $50,000 a year. You walk in the door, that means $50,000 is walking in the door. So you should not be shy and bashful about calling up a school and say, I would like to come for a visit. Can I sit in this class? Because to them, that means money coming into their building. They're not going to tell you no. They're going to say, when can you come in and visit? And what would you like to see? Simply because it's their job to find a fit for you. We sometimes come at this thing from a different perspective, but I want you to come into this with some level of ownership, because you're bringing something to these college campuses. You're bringing yourself, you're bringing your capital, you're bringing your experiences, and that's of value to these colleges. So that's why it behooves you to do your research and find the best outfit and the best institution for yourself.
And sometimes the journey is different. If you don't have the funds, or you don't want to saddle yourself with a lot of student loan debt, because that's an issue too.
It's real.
That's real. Go the route with community college, like you indicated. 2 years, if you get that grant or grants, or you could probably work and pay that tuition off, and then that will also give you some experience, right? In terms of, okay, this is what college is like. This is the course load, the coursework. This is time management. Okay, I can handle this. I can move on to the next level. So you move on to the next level, but you're not encumbered with all that debt in doing so.
But you're right, absolutely. But I don't want you just to settle right now. So what I say is, if you're thinking I want to go to Harvard, apply to Harvard. I don't work for Harvard. Let Harvard tell you yes or Harvard tell you no. Apply to 4-year schools. See what they come back with, because they're going to offer you financial aid. Now, once you see that financial aid, if you just know it's out of you and your family's price range, then you might have to make some alternative plans, and that's understandable. But look first, apply to all of these schools first. Let them tell you yes and no whether you've been accepted, rejected, waitlisted, whatever the case is. Get your financial aid packages first before you make a decision. So this should be a well-informed decision, because again, at the end of the day, whether you're going for free or whether you're spending money, somebody's spending money for you to go to a school. So take the time, make sure you feel good about your decision, and just know you have options. And I would just say that's the best advice I could give you tonight.
Okay. And juniors and seniors, get those grades up, because there's a lot of scholarships. If you got a high GPA or you score higher in your PSATs and SATs, there's money out there for you. So maximize, just like you said, think of yourself as a business. So what you want to do to maximize your return on your investment? Part of that is getting those grades in order, and maybe some volunteer work.
Absolutely. That's another big part of the work that we do, in terms of working with students to help them find scholarships. Working with Springfield Promise Program, we have our very own scholarship that comes out in April. It's called the Last Dollar Scholarship. And just by filling out the application, students will be eligible for that scholarship. There are a ton of scholarships, places that you can think of every day. Burger King, McDonald's, Big Y, Wendy's, Popeyes, Dunkin' Donuts, they all have scholarships. Talk to your parents. Your parents might be involved in some churches that have scholarships, or they might belong to some clubs and organizations that offer scholarships. I've seen scholarships for left-handed people, and I really like to talk about that because I'm a southpaw, I'm lefty myself, and there's so many opportunities that I would just suggest to you, go for them. There's tons of ethnic scholarships as well. And that's what we also do as financial aid advisors. So we have a financial aid advisor in all of the high schools. And I would suggest that if you have not met with your financial aid advisor, go to your school counselor, meet your financial aid advisor, and have that serious conversation about, what your next steps are. And this is what we're here for. We're glad to help you. And again, our services are free of charge.
And how do they reach you?
You can reach us in all of the high schools. Just go to your school counselors, because we're connected with the school counselors. I would advise you all to go to our Facebook page, Springfield Promise Program, our Facebook page. You can like us there. You can see our upcoming events listed right on our Facebook page. And D.Moss, I'm glad to share my contact information. Can I share it over the air? I don't know how these things.
No, absolutely.
So please feel free to email me. My email is PAIGEJ at springfieldpublicschools.com. So Paige, PAIGEJ, and at springfieldpublicschools.com.
JY?
What's
J-
that?
is the-
Oh, no, just the letter J.
Okay.
Excuse me. I'm glad you said that. Page and just the letter J, and then at springfieldpublicschools.com. Glad to respond to you. Looking forward to working with you. Let's make this the best year of FAFSA completion that the city of Springfield's had. My end game is I like to see all of our young people be what they call bosses, their own bosses, be able to run their own ships in life and determine how things go for them, and not just have to live and wait and decide based off of the way they have to react to different things that come their way. And in order to do that, education is a prime opportunity for you to learn. And it's not the only way to get there, but it's a prime opportunity for you to learn and also to network and associate with other people who might be trying to move in the same direction that you are. I can tell you, for me, college was invaluable, because not only did I learn some things, but really I learned more just by sitting down, rapping to other brothers and sisters who came from different areas of the world, to see that we had some of the same issues that we dealt with. And then we could sit there and talk about, well, how do we really deal with these things? And to me, that was invaluable, invaluable part of going to college. So I think it's a great way for everybody to really start to learn how just be better citizens and bring some things back to the community that can help our community out. So I'm a big advocate of college, and I know financial aid is a step that gets you in that direction. So I'm always going to push financial aid and FAFSA for all of our students here in Springfield.
Okay. All right. That's good stuff. College ain't the only option though, and the economics of it is making it very challenging for folks.
I understand it.
So-
I agree, and I understand it. And I would never begrudge anybody who chose to go some other ways because it was just in their best interest.
Well, you know, it's interesting that you say that. 5 years ago, I'd be like, everybody's going to go to college. Everybody's going to go to college. But because of the economics of it, in the changing of it, and in the debt in our community, especially with Black women being the mostly highly educated demographic, they hold a lot of college student debt. It's just like, okay, well, what can we do to kind of get around that? Because you can't, if you file for bankruptcy, you can't add that into the bankruptcy schedule. A lot of people don't know that.
Right. Now, whether it's now, whether it's later, most jobs indicate that in order to move up that ladder, you're going to need host and just doing what you do for the city of Springfield. It's greatly appreciated.
Back at you, man. Thank
All
you.
right, Rob, appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you.
All right. All right.
All right, y'all. This is 90.7 WTCC FM. My name is D.Moss. This is Monday Night Live. D.Moss, Rob Jones. And we want to thank Joe Page for coming down, man. As always, you know, we appreciate you, bro.
All right.
All right, so we're gonna play a little bit of music, and we have another guest. This brother drove all the way from Waterbury. Then waiting in the background, we have Miss Callie Green, the art director for this beautiful space that we're in right now, the Artist Cafe. So we're gonna keep it moving, and whatever you do, don't touch that dial. If you're online, don't scroll nowhere else. We'll be right back with you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, bro.
Man, not a problem, man.
Good to
Y'all
see
be
you.
easy out here.
I'm an alderman, and we just started a Waterbury promise, and I want to.
Oh,
I want to pick your brain.
Yes,
Even though
sir.
you got that on.
Even though you got that. You sounded
We
like
really already talked
Bud
about
Williams
that.
when you told him your affiliation.
No,
You were like, oh, he was like, oh, okay.
We good.